YouTube, it's your boy Cobra. We back like we never left. So on my drink review, still sipping on this giant mug of hard sody pop. People are calling me an incel and shit. And it's like I said, I fucking hate incels. How am I a woman-hating piece of shit if I fight for gender equality? And it's like when women have had terrible experiences with men, they're allowed to bitch and complain about it because it hurts. Dating sucks. But when men go through the same thing, we're told to shut up and men aren't allowed to have emotions. And then we get insulted for hating women. It's like, here's the thing of it. Let me just squizzle this real quick. I've been rejected by every chick I've liked. I have abandonment issues because of my birth mother, Laura. And my last girlfriend was a complete psycho cunt. I refuse to hate women. I'm not going to be a walking stereotype. Fuck that shit. You know why? Because I'm better than that. That's why. It's called being the bigger man for a reason. And what kills me about the whole femcel versus incel bullshit is that they're just like each other. People who are bitter because they can't get laid. And it's like, well, if society put less pressure on people to fuck and date and have sex, and didn't slut shame women for giving it out, and then fucking call men simps and incels for not getting it and then trying to get it, there's a start. Just my 2 cents. Like, women are expected to give out sex and men are expected to get it, and it creates so many toxic double standards on the dating scene. And I refuse to let it ruin my outlook on women, because quite frankly, that's not fair to them. Women have it hard too sometimes. And acknowledging that both women and men have privilege and both women and men can be oppressed, it just depends on the double standard. And constantly you hear these women on TikTok and social media complaining about how much they hate men and how men are trash and blah, blah, blah. But the second one man says the same thing about women, he's a incel, he's a misogynist, he's a raging sexist. And it's like, bruh. And then you got these 4B feminazis who hijacked the 4B movement from North Korea because they didn't get their way in the election. And it's like, they want you to beg for sex just so they can say, no, you don't get any. And it's like, so when men are choosing to just ignore their crazy shit, be like, well, if you don't want to have sex, more power to you, chica. It's not my body, so who am I as a man to tell a woman what she can and can't do with her body? Fuck that shit. And then people have the audacity, the fucking audacity to call me a fucking incel. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'll be the first man to fight for gender equality and not give a shit what I get out of it. You know what I fucking hate? The fact that the genders can't get along. That, like, women and men can't just get along. They gotta make it about gender and who's the bigger fucking asshole. And I'm just so fucking tired of it. Hearing all these women and men whining on TikTok because they're 25 and they haven't had their first kiss yet. Well, there are people out there on TikTok in their 20s and 30s who are whining because they're still a virgin and they haven't had their first kiss yet. And I'm like, big fucking deal. There are people out there who are getting out of toxic relationships or who are still in them. And I'm not trying to be a dick here, but It's never talked about when women are fucking psychotic and manipulative and abusive towards men. Because it's just easier to blame men for everything while expecting men to do everything and pay for everything. And it's like, I'm sick of it. So when men are victims of rape and abuse at the hands of a woman, he's afraid to come forward because he might get called a pussy. Oh, you got your ass kicked by a girl, you little pansy. Or how is it rape when all men want is sex, when all men are rapists? And I'm so tired of that fucking narrative. And like I said in my last video, fucking when women bitch about this crap on social media, we don't criticize them for it. If anything, we coddle them and tell them, yes, queen, slay, and all men are pigs, honey. Don't worry, hon, you'll find the right man someday. Do men get that same treatment? Oh, fuck no. And if you called all women cunts, you'd never hear the end of it. And the reason why I respect women is because I know what it's like to have the whole world against you and treat you like shit just because you're a man or because you're King Cobra. You know what I'm saying? I judge people based off their character and how the fuck they treat my autistic ass and who they are as people. I don't judge them based off their gender. That's fucking retarded. I fucking hate incels, dude. Like the literal incel culture. I hate the word too. It's just such a disgusting, degrading word. If you were to call every woman a femcel because she says she hates men and men are the worst, blah, 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 you'd never hear the end of it. And low key, it's like men are not allowed to bitch about their dating life or their dating problems on social media. We're just told to man up and get over it. And then you hear women say, we want to be treated just like men. Terrence Pop, say it with me, bullshit! And because I watch YouTubers like Terrence Pop, a lot of the people think, oh, it's that MGTOW crap. And it's just like, fuck you. Seriously, fuck you. How many fucking talk shows and like TikTok accounts and YouTube accounts of women that are dedicated to boosting women's confidence and like, you know what I'm saying, doing like what Terrence Pop does, but like the female version of it. There are tons of channels doing that crap. And you can't accuse them of being man-haters because then they'll turn around and tell you to check your male privilege. Being told to check my male privilege by a bunch of Western women who hijacked the woke movement and made it about their own personal problems, who hijacked the 4B movement because they think Trump's a fucking this and that, what have you. And like crying about it on social media isn't going to fucking change the fact that Trump won the election. You're just giving people stuff to laugh at. And I hate politics to begin with, but that's just for another video. Why? Because I bitch about gender standards, gender-based double standards, and I don't take crap from anybody. That makes me a fucking... No, dude, fuck that shit. I do not hate women. I flat out fucking refuse to hate women. And I've been rejected by every chick I've liked since grade school, so it doesn't matter. That's life. I don't care. That's fucking their loss, not mine. As far as women slurring off sex and men because Trump's president, you think Trump gives a shit? He doesn't. He's got a country to run, goddammit. All you're doing is denying yourself some good dick. I asked the question, ladies, would you sleep with a man who constantly bitched about how terrible women were, calling them cunts, and fucking... And not just the ones that were shitty, but like all women, you know what I'm saying? You'd fucking hate it. All these man haters, if they met a female hater, they would not sleep with him. They'd probably punch him in the balls. And the second he goes to smack her back in self-defense, he would be in jail for assault on a woman because you're not allowed to hit women. And I fully agree with that. That's fucked. You shouldn't do that. I would never hit a woman unless she had a gun to my head. If my life was in fucking danger and she had a gun to my head, I'm like, okay, shit's getting real. It doesn't help the fact that my ex is now spreading lies about me on top of it, and it's like, fucking just ignore her. She is not worth the headache. She got a new channel. I seriously considered leaving a nasty comment, but I'm like, nope, I'm better than that. I am better than that. Block and ignore. Like, I don't have to fucking talk shit to get the win. I've already won the fucking argument. You know? Because when women are losing the argument and they know they're wrong, they will do shit to deliberately piss you off and make you so fucking mad, you lose your shit. You call them a bunch of nasty names. And then if she gets in your face testing your macho male ego, because that's the thing, you got to be the bigger man and just be like, you know what? This bitch is trying to push my buttons, and I'm not fucking having it. Because women will do that shit. There are some women who will fucking do that shit. They will fucking hit you and push you around because they know you're a man. You can't hit women back in self-defense. That makes you a woman beater. And there are some women, unfortunately, who take advantage of that while screaming about what pigs men are. And I'm like, yeah, that's called being insufferable. But you want to be treated just like men. Right. And that's so unfair to men, and it's even more unfair to women out there because there are a lot of good women out there who just want the same thing men want. Love, cuddles, sex, good food, respect, and companionship. Someone that gives a fuck about them. Someone that can grow old with them. We're talking like you get to be so old that you can't have sex anymore, but you're still together because that's what love is. Oh, but Josh is the piece of shit that hates women. Fuck you. Fuck you. As a man, I should be allowed to stand up for my rights and speak how I feel about this perspective from my side of the story as a man. Women do that crap all the time and nobody fucking says anything. Because you're not allowed to say anything. You argue with a woman, you're never going to hear the end of it. In fact, arguing with a woman is fucking pointless. It's like, well, I'm going to take this small sledgehammer and break my foot so I have to wear a cast for a couple of weeks. Or I can have an argument with the female. Pass the sledgehammer. You can stick your hand in a basket of venomous cobras, or you can have an argument with the female. It's like, pass the basket. And like men, we cannot blame our fucking anger on our testosterone because that's a piss poor excuse. But if she's in a mood, you know how women get. It's probably because she's, I don't got on her period or something. And it's like, low key, I sympathize with women on that because that's gotta fucking suck. Every month you get one and you don't know when it's going to happen or how heavy it's going to be. And it can happen at the most awkward time. Then you got to deal with menstrual cramps and fucking, the roller coaster of emotions. Men cannot handle that shit, dude. And I gotta think, what would it look like if men got their periods? Well, according to some women, all men are assholes. So, for starters, men would probably bleed out their assholes. Their balls would hurt. They'd be horny enough to fuck almost anything, but they couldn't get their dick hard. And on top of it, all they'd want to do is sit on the couch, drink beer, and watch Home Improvement. Honey, what's up? I'm PMSing. What? Pissed off male syndrome. Can you grab me a beer? My balls hurt. Get it yourself, you lazy sexist pig. You don't care about my needs. Try to include a little bit of humor in there, but I don't think anyone would laugh at that. Because men do experience PMS, only we call it pissed off male syndrome. When your favorite football team is losing the game and the ref is making a bullshit call, you're like, oh, God damn it. When your favorite NASCAR driver lost the race and the one you really hate, that cocky son of a bitch, wins the race, oh, jeez. You know what they call it? Menstruating? Because as soon as she starts menstruating, men are going to head straight up to the garage to work on something. You know what I'm saying, fellas? Like, oh, you're in a mood. Well then, I want to go do some shit in the garage. You know why they call it menstruating? Because men are going to head straight for the bar when it happens. Hey, Cletus, yeah, Earl, my wife's menstruating. You want to go grab a beer? Huh, sure thing. And you know why they call it menstruating? Because men will head straight to the store for feminine products and Ben and Jerry's and boxed wine when it happens. Unless she's not old enough, then it's like, okay, just Ben and Jerry's then. And you can tell by the two kinds of men who are buying products for the women in their life. They're either a single dad or they're buying products for their girlfriend. In the conversation while they're looking at all this crap, scratching their head, not knowing what the fuck to do, because you know how that goes. Why the fuck is she not here? I have no idea what the fuck I'm supposed to buy. And it's like, oh, he's buying tampons and pads for a woman in his life. Lovely. And of course, it's my week to watch her. God damn it. Yep, that's a single divorced dad. Versus, I know as soon as I go home, I'm going to get yelled at for buying the wrong kind. You know why they call it menstruating? Because men will head straight for the liquor cabinet and be like, I need some Jack Daniels. Now, if your woman just happens to be on her period and she's being real grouchy about it, you know how women get, you gotta have the patience of a goddamn saint. Maybe she's a huge Gilmore Girls fan, so you cuddle with her on the couch and binge watch Gilmore Girls with some wine. You cook her favorite meal, and just let her bitch about her problems. You don't care about the sex, you don't care about what, none of that. As long as she's happy, you're happy. Because when it comes to relationships and the whole women versus men dynamic, and this applies to both genders, you can be right or you can be happy. But low key, women are allowed to hate men, but we can't hate them back. I think that's kind of bullshit, to be honest. And that's why I'm like, okay, if it's wrong for men to do it, it should be wrong for women to do it. That's called gender equality. So fuck your sickos and fuck incels. And fuck femcells too. But in today's 304 driven culture, Men are expected to pay for everything, and then as soon as they try to pay for the meal, there are some women who are like, oh, what? You can't handle a woman buying the meal? You're a sexist. You can't handle a strong, independent woman. Okay, you pay for it then. That's because you're a cheapskate and you're not a real man. And it's like, oh, you know what? I'm all about gender equality and compromise. So if I pay for half of it, you pay for half of it. And I'll include a tip. Yeah. Winning. Now, compromise and good communication to me are more important than good sex. That's just my opinion. Take it or leave it. Taking my girl out for drinks at a bar and showing her off like, that's mine, you can't have her. That's more important than the sex, dude. And that's just my opinion. Because the way I see it, sex can get you into a lot of trouble. And when you got a bunch of 4B angry femcells who hate men going, we're going to swear off sex and marriage and having a family. How do you like them apples? Do what you want. It's your body. It just means you won't be able to trap us with divorce court or baby trap us or spread STIs or use sex to get what you want because women are good at that. Hey, more power to you, Sister Sledge. You don't want to have sex? That's cool. I've gone 6 years without getting laid. And I waited patiently. And I finally got some. And unfortunately, it was with a psycho bitch. But what do? I refuse to let Jessica affect my opinion of women. Or any of it, you know? She needs fucking help. So do my YouTube trolls for that matter. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm releasing 4 brand new shirts on my customized t-shirt shop. They're all long sleeve shirts. Because it is getting colder outside and, you know. Ugh. With the holidays right around the corner,